Moving to our next section in our website, this one in here, where we're going to learn some nice and cool tricks. However, this one might need some concentration, so if you'd like to go and grab your cup of coffee or whatever you'd like to drink, that would be a great idea. This section can be an extension to your previous section, maybe more about your brands, what's special about your products, or one of your coolest products in here, depending of course on your website's niche. And in here I'm going to be teaching you how to stack elements on top of each others in Brizy, like that guy in here on top of that circle or that one, and also how to make it an interactive design to grab your viewers' attention and keep them interested in your website. So let's go back to our homepage, adding a block. You can start with a pre-made block if you like to, that's totally up to you guys, including maybe some type on left side, or you can create one from scratch. So let me show you guys how we can create everything from scratch as well in that section, adding a blank block. And let's go ahead to our block settings, selecting a background image from here. You'll find that image in your resources folder as well, including some nice vector lines in background. Fixed in that case will be amazing effect for our lines. It's going to be looking like that. Let's drag our block a bit, make it taller. And before we insert our design elements, let's grab a column from our elements. To easily control our design elements, let's grab title or text and selecting our type, and let's select heading 2 for our title. Make it a bit smaller. And let's make it white. And let me also guys tell you more about these colors in here. Those are your swatches or color palette. The second one on right will be always resembling your type. That's gonna be the default color for your type. And the third one on left will be resembling your icons, buttons. And it's always better to change them from the beginning so you can easily apply your colors through your entire website and be consistent in your design. So let's double click in here. That's our gray color. As you can see its code or hex code, and you can easily customize these colors to make them consistent from here. Clicking on the brush, which is your styling, you can select the color. I'm gonna be selecting black for my type as default, especially on white backgrounds. So let's select black from here. And for our buttons and icons, I'm gonna go with pink or magenta. So I'm gonna be clicking in here. And instead of eyeballing that color by clicking in here and selecting any kind of these colors, I'm gonna be more precise and more consistent with my main design from our main section. So I'm gonna be grabbing that color actually from Photoshop. Going to Photoshop in here, I have that color already in my foreground. As you can see, you can easily grab any color by selecting that tool from any image. Of course, if you have Photoshop application, then click in here to grab any color from your image. Once you have that color in here, you can double click on that color. That's a very quick Photoshop piece of information. Double clicking in here, you'll find your hex code in here. So you can copy that color and paste it there in Brizy. So pressing Command or Control C, you can also right click and copy that if you don't like to use shortcuts or you're not familiar with them. However, they are always saving time. Let's go back to Brizy. Double clicking in here. Make sure you keep that hashtag for your colors code and Command or Control V. Now we have the same exact color for our buttons. And also one of our main colors can be that nice color in here. I'm also gonna grab that one from Photoshop. Going back there, we have that color as a background color in here. Double clicking on that icon, Command or Control C, copying that code, going back to Brizy. Then let's maybe replace that weird color in here. It has some tint of green. I don't like that color and I don't see where I'm gonna be using that one now. Command or Control V. Now we have our color schemes in here. Maybe you can be adding orange later if we needed that within our design. However, try to keep your colors at minimum if you can. Now let's go back to our type, our title in here. Let's make it white. We didn't need to customize that one. And let's go ahead and grab another text below our type in here. White. And let's add more dummy text to our paragraph. Command or Control A, Command C, pasting it, something like that. Then let's make it a bit bolder. Semi-bold. To be more visible, then let's make it paragraph. Make sure it's paragraph, and this one will be H2. And let's grab a button from our elements. If you don't quickly see your elements, you can search them in here as well. Here we go, drag and drop. Then let's select our button, align it to left. And as you can see guys, our button's color, that's our third icon in here. However, let's make it smaller from here and give it some rounded corners. You can customize the radius of your corners as well from here, selecting that one. Let's make it maybe 15 pixels. And size can be even more smaller by selecting these dots in here. You'll find more options for width and height. So let's reduce height a bit. And width. And once you stylize your design elements, you can always duplicate them and keep using them in different areas in your website as well. Maybe you are done with that, you can duplicate your button and drag and drop it maybe here. Maybe you'd like to have another button here, or maybe you'd like to have two buttons on top of each other according to your needs, or next to each other's, whatever you would like to do. That would be always a great way to save time and be consistent with your design. So let me delete that one for now. We have our button, we can link it, but since we don't have any web pages, we're not going to be linking that one to anywhere. However, for the sake of example, to show you guys what I mean by that, now we happen to have actually another page, which is our demo page in here, services, and we have its link in here. It's going to be our URL/services, okay? Forget about the rest. That's just because we're using a preview. So I'm going to be selecting that, then right click, copy, going to our home page, clicking on that link or that chain here. You can link that one to other areas in your website. Could be your store, could be your blog, whatever. All you have to do is to paste that URL in here, right click, paste, and you get to choose your button's behavior as well. You can click on open a new tab. So once people click on your buttons, they will be directed in a new tab like this one. Make it no follow if you're using affiliate products or something like that. Or instead of linking that to another page, you can link it actually to another block, maybe in the same page or another page. So you can select instead of URL block, and here you'll see your different blocks. So if you select that one or maybe another block, if people click in here, they will be directed to that block in the same page. And this is actually how you can be building a single page website and maybe linking your menus or your buttons in here to different blocks in your web page. So you don't have to create multiple pages, especially if you want to create a small website or maybe a landing page. That would be so convenient. You can link that to other blocks. And also you can link that button to another block in another web page. And also here we have another amazing option to let people download files by selecting file, which is a pro feature by the way. You can click in here to upload your file and it will be uploaded to your library and people then can download that file later. Also you can make buttons trigger pop-ups by selecting that option in here. And if you have already created pop-ups using Brizy, you will find them in here. You can select them and it's done. Anyway, let's go ahead and create our creative side, our right side of that block. So moving to that part in here, you can actually click on that plus to add an image, which is going to be a PNG image in that case. Drag and drop. Selecting our element, going to upload. Upload. And here we have that image in here. It's a PNG image, doesn't have a background, or it has actually a transparent background. And actually you can create these kind of images using Photoshop. And also you'll find in your resources some cool websites to download cool PNG images. Maybe you're looking for cars, trees, or different design elements, you'll find them there. But this type of image is so essential for the art direction we're going after, stacking elements on top of each others. So selecting that guy in here. Now we have our image being masked. As you can see, we don't see our guy's head or feet. So going to settings in here. Also you can zoom, by the way, if you would like to zoom in your image, or reposition that one from here, or even select that option to open in Lightbox. So once people click on that image, it will be opened in another Lightbox. And also you have some filters options as well for each image element, which is pro feature, as you know. However, now let's resize our image. We need to make that 100%, but before let's reduce size a bit, then going for 100%. We might need to increase size a bit more. However, let's add dividers to our section first, as I need to get that guy out of our top divider. So let's go to our block settings first, more settings, dividers, selecting our top divider, adding white color, increasing our divider's slope. In this case, I'm gonna make it a bit sharp so I can reveal some of that guy outside of our block or outside of our divider. So I'm gonna go for 410, and also let's apply a bottom divider as well. White, and the same value apply in here to make them parallel to each others. Now let's go back to our guy in here. Let's make that one bigger. I'm gonna go for full size as well. And now we need to move our left side elements a bit lower, so let's go ahead and grab a spacer. Spacer will be an amazing option to easily move your elements lower like that. And it's gonna be also helping us a lot in responsiveness settings. We can duplicate that one. Let's make it a bit smaller. Now we already have a cool section design. If you wanna stop by there, you can go ahead. If you wanna take it to the next level, let me show you guys how you can put elements on top of each other in Prezi. So let's go ahead and add an image at the bottom of our column. And let's select our element, upload a vector circle of our vector circles, this one. You'll find it in your resources as well. Reducing size and height, let's make height 100%. And size will be smaller. Maybe something like that to cover his feet. Now we need to move our circle on top of our guy's feet in here, and in order to place elements on top of each others, we're gonna be using the Z index, and it's so simple once you get the concept of that. So here we need to select our guy first, go into settings, more settings, advanced ones. You'll find that option in here, Z index. Now that one is set to 0. The higher that value, it will be on top of other elements. So if that guy in here is 0 and that circle is like 1, it's gonna be on top of our guy. So let's set that one to maybe 2. You can set it to 3, 4, whatever. However, you need to make sure that this circle will be a higher value. And I made that one 2 because I'm gonna be adding another circle below our guy. So probably it will be 1. However, let's select that circle in here. Going to advanced settings, and let's make that one 3. You can make it 5. It's not gonna make any difference, okay? And now we need to move that circle a bit higher, maybe to here. So in that case, we're gonna be going back to styling, and you'll see these settings in here. And simply these are spacing around your design elements, or how you can be moving them around right, left, up and down. So here, for example, we have margin. You can either select everything together to add a space around your circle from here, like that, or negative value as well. However, it's not the best way to do it like that, so let me set that back to 0. And let's select that option in here to control a single direction at once, like that top slider going for a negative value in that case. Moving that circle higher, as you can see. Maybe we need to add a bit more. And seriously guys, you don't have to memorize anything in here. You just go try and error. Try to move any of these sliders. See how your element will be moving, either right or left or something like that. And if you don't like that, you can press Command or Control Z or undo, or click on that in here, one of the amazing shortcuts in Brizy. Or you can set these values back to 0, so it's not that hard after all. And also padding is doing the same task. You can control each and every side of your element, just like margin. So here we don't have any negative values, as you can see. Padding will be mainly adding spaces inside your element. You gotta try these sliders to fully understand them. However, now we need to preview our section. To make sure that this circle in the right position, you have to keep checking your preview every now and then by clicking the button, of course after saving and updating what you've done. To make sure you're going in the right direction, preview. Well, that actually looks nice. Maybe we need to move it a bit higher. And you can do that in various ways. Let's go back to our element, selecting our circle. You can add another container, maybe a row, which will have its more margin and padding settings. Selecting a row below our circle. And let's drag that circle inside in here, deleting that one. Now we have more settings for our row. We can click in here, you'll find more settings, margin. And let's try with that slider again. Now it's moving our circle a bit higher, as you can see. So I guess this will be a strong example for you guys how you can be using rows and columns. Let's update and let's review that, closing that tab, scrolling down. And that looks even better. Let's go back to our design again and add another circle, maybe below our guy. Going to our elements, grabbing an image on top of our guy, selecting another vector circle, that one. And let's go to settings, smaller size, of course, full height. Now going to more settings, advanced, z-index, we have that one as lowest value. We can keep it as it is for now, as this one will be below our other design elements. However, let's go to styling and let's push that one lower. Probably I'm gonna be using that slider in that case. I'm not really sure, I'm trying with you guys. So let's go with negative value in here. Maybe we're going to use another row again, just like what we did to that one. In the other direction, going to add a row and removing that one. They come in pair by default. Okay, now we have more controls for our circle, more settings, delinking sides, and going with that slider again. So let's try another trick in here, reducing size for our circle a bit, maybe 35 or something. And in that case, probably we'll try to nudge our guy even higher. And in that case, I think it might work. Let's go and review that. However, before we do that, let me show you guys a couple of more tricks in here. If you're selecting your design element like that circle in here, now we are selecting that guy. We cannot maybe select our circle. I don't know which column is that. That's our circles column. Maybe you'd like to select the higher container. Now we have column selected. You can see that in here actually. You can lock that one as well to show you guys what will be selected next. So here we have column selected, pressing escape. It's going to be selecting a row, then pressing escape again to select the bigger column we have in here. So if you are a bit lost within your design elements on top of each others like that, or you have too many columns inside rows and stuff like that, you can keep pressing escape to see the bigger container. And also before we review that, let's add entrance animation. So selecting our guy, I don't know which one is selected now. I'm gonna be clicking in here. Yeah, that's our guy. Going to settings, more settings. You'll find advanced in here, and you will find that option in here, entrance animation. So let's select maybe pulse. Yeah, that suits our guy. And also another animation for our circle, entrance animation. See, because we have these settings locked in place, we can easily customize those settings for each and every element. So probably I'm gonna be selecting bounce. Yeah, bounce is nice. And maybe bounce as well for this one. If in some cases you cannot select your lower elements, like that circle might be here, and you want to access settings for that element, you can push that guy a bit lower, select your design element, maybe add entrance animation. Then you can reposition your design elements up again, that guy in that example. However, so far we can still select our design element. And let's see how that looks like in our preview update. And let's preview. Closing that one. Then here we have our animation. Looks nice so far. We can even push our guy a bit higher. Let's go to our home page. Selecting our design element. By the way guys, there is always a default 10% margin in some elements. So in some cases you might not need them. So you can set that one to 0 here and there. However, let's try to push it a bit higher. Now that direction actually. I think this looks more engaging. Before we update, let's reduce that height in here. Update, and let's preview. Actually, that looks much better. Maybe we can reduce our section's height a bit. Going back to our section to have more interaction as well in here. Let me remove that one. And let's notch that one even lower. I don't see our title in here, so looking for our title. Repositioning that one. So let's update and review again. Sometimes it needs some patience to get something beautiful. Review. Looks actually very nice, especially with these lines in background. You can keep adding more design elements to your composition if you would like, as you already know how to apply that, and hopefully by now you're feeling more confident using Brizy Page Builder.